Lee Marvin was born Lamont Waltman Marvin Jr. on February 19, 1924, in New York City. He arrived in an America still reeling from World War I and moving toward the hardships of the Great Depression. Restless by nature, he clashed with authority as a boy and was expelled from more than one school, including a military academy. That defiant streak, sharpened by a family history steeped in service — his parents were Lamont Waltman Marvin and Courtney Washington Davidge — later powered the ferocity and stripped-down honesty of his screen performances. When World War II erupted, Marvin, like so many of his generation, signed up. At 18, he enlisted in the United States Marine Corps and joined the elite 4th Marine Division. His service was real and harrowing. He fought in the Pacific, including the brutal Battle of Saipan in 1944, where machine gun fire shredded his sciatic nerve. The wound left him with chronic pain and a lifelong limp, and earned him the Purple Heart. Unlike actors who only wore uniforms on camera, Marvin had carried the weight of combat for real, something audiences could feel in his work. Civilian life after the war didn't fit right at first. He bounced through odd jobs, plumbing, retail, before stumbling into a small theater as a set carpenter. Before long, that craggy face, iron baritone, and imposing height had him on the boards. He cut his teeth off-Broadway and on tour, then moved into TV and movies in the early 1950s. Casting directors saw the hard edges and slotted him as heavies, outlaws, soldiers, villains, but he brought more than menace. There was gravity, weariness, and a veteran's quiet clarity. The 1960s changed everything. In The Killers, 1964, Marvin played a hitman with an unnerving calm that turned heads and lifted him from character actor to marquee name. Then came Cat Ballou, 1965. As both the boozy gunfighter Kid Shelleen and the steel-eyed Tim Strawn, he proved he wasn't just tough. He was funny, nimble, and fearless. He won the Academy Award for Best Actor, and his famously short, self-deprecating acceptance speech only burnished his legend. Hits piled up. The Dirty Dozen, 1967, let him channel his military past into Major John Reisman, the hard case in charge of a misfit unit, and the role became one of his signatures. That same year, Point Blank, 1967, gave him a lean, modern crime thriller where his silence spoke louder than speeches. Paint Your Wagon, 1969, paired him with Clint Eastwood and showed he could even lean into musical comedy. He joked about the singing for years. Through the 1970s, he kept delivering Emperor of the North, 1973, and The Big Red One, 1980, cemented his reputation as a prose pro. Despite fame, he never chased Hollywood glitter. He preferred his ranch near Tucson, Arizona, fishing, riding, and the open air. His personal life ran hot, then steadied. In April 1952, Marvin married Betty Ebeling. He was still climbing the ladder, a decorated Marine trying to turn raw talent into steady work. They welcomed their first child that same year, Christopher Lamont. Born in 1952, followed by 3 daughters, Courtney Lee, then Cynthia Louise, and youngest, Claudia Leslie. Born in 1958, the family story had joy and sorrow. Christopher died in 2013, Claudia passed in 2012. Courtney and Cynthia chose lives largely outside the spotlight. The pressures of stardom and long shoots strained the marriage. After a 2-year separation, the couple divorced in January 1967. Decades later, in 2010, Betty shared her side in Tales of a Hollywood Housewife, a candid memoir by the first Mrs. Lee Marvin, which included her allegation that Marvin had an affair with Anne Bancroft, her account underlining just how tumultuous those years could be. After the divorce, Marvin's most public relationship was with Michelle Triola. Their breakup led to Marvin v. Marvin, the landmark palimony case that changed how California looked at financial claims between unmarried partners. The battle left him drained and introspective. That reflection led him back to a familiar face. He reunited with his one-time sweetheart, Pamela Feely, a woman who had known him long before the Oscar glow and industry politics. They married in 1970. With Pamela, Marvin found a second act at home, quieter, steadier, and rooted. She stood with him through career highs and the health challenges that followed, and they remained together until his death in 1987. Marvin had a reputation for calling things as he saw them, no frosting, no PR gloss. When private conversations turned to the worst behavior Hollywood could breed, he was blunt about the kinds of operators he despised. Rather than repeating specific, unverified hit lists about real people, here are the 7 types he could not stand, drawn from the same spirit of those off-the-record exchanges. The mirror hugger. The star who worships angles and adoration, demands daily script rewrites for a prettier close-up, and treats craft like a vanity project. Marvin's antidote: show up, hit your mark, do the job right. The smile and stab the party charmer who toasts you at wrap, then trades your reputation over breakfast. Buttersoft manners, razor-sharp betrayals. The studio puppet, a marketable face who lets the machine yank every string, publicity dating, contrived feuds, and manufactured views, instead of standing up as an artist. The fast-talk producer, a dealmaker who can sell the Brooklyn Bridge twice before lunch, leaves a trail of trust-me promises, and disappears when the checks come due. The two-faced charmer, silky compliments in front of the crew, acid gossip the moment you turn away. Talent isn't the problem, character is. The cocktail circuit peacock, always suntanned, always camera-ready, rarely prepared. Lives for the photo call, vanishes for rehearsal. The social climber treats relationships as stepping stones, dating for leverage, marrying for momentum, swapping partners like press releases. In Marvin's book, that's Sleazeball 101. To Marvin, Hollywood revealed character under pressure. You didn't have to be a saint, just honest. Say what you mean, keep your word, take your hits, and don't pretend the mirror is a moral compass. He prized authenticity because he'd seen the real thing in a place where it counted, a battlefield. The final chapter of his life was marked by health battles. Years of heavy smoking and drinking took their toll. In December 1986, Marvin spent more than 2 weeks in the hospital with complications related to coccidioidomycosis, valley fever. He went into respiratory distress and required steroids to breathe. The treatment cascaded into major intestinal ruptures and he underwent a colectomy. He died of a heart attack on August 29, 1987, at age 63, fittingly for a Marine who bled in the Pacific and carried that experience with him. He was buried with full military honors at Arlington National Cemetery. What remains is the work and the way he did it. Lee Marvin never needed speeches to fill the frame. A look, a pause, a hard line delivered without fuss. Those were his tools. From The Killers, 1964, to Cat Ballou, 1965, The Dirty Dozen, 1967, Point Blank, 1967, Paint Your Wagon, 1969, Emperor of the North, 1973, and The Big Red One, 1980. He built a career on presence, credibility, and an old-school code he refused to fake. The town changed around him. The code didn't. And that, more than any trophy, is why the performances still hold.